Welcome to another edition of Viewer Comments. I haven't done one of these in a while. This is where I answer your questions, comments, feedback, and we address some of the most important questions in the world of hiking, such as should boomboxes be banned in the mountains, or what exactly constitutes a boomer hiker. The first group of comments is going to come from a short I made actually, and I've been making a couple more shorts lately, but this one, for context, we probably have to watch this first, so let's have a look. A lot of funny, very insightful comments on this video, which I appreciate. The first one that I want to read out is from Courtney Smith, who I don't think quite got the essence of the video. She says,
"This video has people can't enjoy things differently vibes."
That wasn't my intention with this video. I mean, this was sparked by a guy that walked past me the day before. Big boombox just jamming his way down the trail. And I actually didn't mind because he was coming in the opposite direction to me and he was gone in a couple of seconds. But it did kind of get me thinking. And the next day I was just jamming along listening to this Ocean Grove track and this skit kind of came into my head. So yeah, at the top of the pass, I just filmed this skit. And there was a lot of other comments similar to that. And I'm not sure that people realize that I was both those characters in that video. Not just as an actor, but I literally am both those two people. I love jamming out to a track while I'm hiking. I think it gives me energy. It just makes things a little bit more interesting, especially when you're hiking solo for such a long period of time. And you know, when the jam is good, you've just got to get the trekking poles out and smash some tom-toms. But it does beg the question, is carrying a boombox and pumping it as loud as possible acceptable on trail? I would say no. You know, if you're stuck in the city all week and you just want to get out and listen to some birds and there's a dude who's just constantly around you with a boombox, of course that's going to impact someone else's experience. So, I mean, it's totally up to you whether you listen to entertainment. I think it's probably best done with headphones. But there is a counter argument, which I should bring up here, from Thomas Flores, who says,
"Well, hear me out. If someone wants to listen to music while they hike, headphones or earbuds are not safe. If you have a speaker, you can still hear what's around you."
That's very true. I actually have a quick story about that from when I was in Nepal a couple of years ago. I was coming down from Camp 1 from Amadablam. I had my headphones in, and all of a sudden I was really dizzy and I kind of lost my balance and I was kind of stumbling all over the place. My immediate thought was that, shit, I've got like sudden onset cerebral edema or something like that. But in reality, what was going on is the whole earth was moving left to right underneath me. And this was 2015, so the big earthquake year. It was like a 8.6 magnitude earthquake or something like that. And I looked to my right and there was a huge avalanche coming down the face of Amadablam, and it like rushed down below the valley and just hammered past me. But I just got on the ground on my hands and knees and absolutely froze. I turned around to the guy behind me and he was just like, "What the f?" It was one of the most extreme experiences that I've ever had in the outdoors, and I'm genuinely lucky to be alive. I was on the DFAT missing persons list. Pretty much everyone that I've ever known in my life thought I was dead for like 2 weeks. That was pretty intense. So yeah, maybe it's better off having a boombox sometimes so you can hear what's around you, but probably not if there's loads of people around you.
Nature is the boombox of life. You just need to listen.
Facts, bro.
In Montana, we do this to scare the bears away.
Yeah, rightly so. Fuck that. Scary as hell. And then there's the question of the type of music from Logan Share. Is low volume ambience piano acceptable? Yeah, well, that's a good question. You could make all of your hikes feel like a Craig Adams film. And then we have our first boomer neckbeard comment from Jim Steele, who's obviously a Slayer fan. Rather hike with dude with a boombox than dude with a man bun. I feel like a Slayer fan should be more understanding of the struggles of people with long hair. I mean, surely Jeff Hanneman ties his hair up in a man bun occasionally, doesn't he? Actually, you know what I think his problem is? It's the position of the bun. So if it's down here at your neck, that's totally cool, that's metal. But it's definitely not okay to tie your long hair up at the top or the back. That's not going to be the last man bun comment in this video. Let's move on to something new, shall we? The next series of comments are from my barefoot shoe video. The first one is from Mega Classic 83, who says,
"Barefoot shoes are not good for your feet, ankles, legs, because they don't hold or offer the support you actually need."
My answer to that would be, shouldn't the foot kind of support itself? Shouldn't the human body itself have the structure and the ability to be able to support walking or running without the support of a shoe? That would be my question. I mean, what were we doing before we invented shoes? All the cavemen just lying around like, ah! No ankle support. Just walking around, stepping on rocks and breaking ankles at every possible moment. Here's something a little more insightful from Marco Calizzi.
The explanation of short foot at 540 reminds me a lot of what is taught in traditional kung fu, not modern, about drawing the force from the ground, rooting the fingers.
I think he means toes.
And feeling the torque in order to deliver a powerful hit. I think all of this is part instinct, part ancient knowledge that we just forgot about.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, man. I think if you look at all the ancient movement practices like Qigong, Tai Chi, everything from the martial arts world, you'll find there's a lot of focus on how the foot is structured when you do that activity. And yeah, it's all about creating that arch. I get a lot of questions from people that have flat feet or sunken arches or really active high arches, and they're asking me what to do. And I think the answer is generally just be barefoot more often, spend more time actually grounding yourself. When you do have to wear shoes, wear barefoot minimal style shoes that allow the foot to splay out naturally. And with a bit of barefoot balance work and a bit of active tissue work, you'll find that the arch will restructure itself a little bit more naturally. Like, the foot is very intelligent. Our bodies are very good at restructuring the foot to its natural form, but it does take time. I mean, all the years that you spend walking around in stiff shoes that restrict the ability of your foot to move, all of that damage is not going to be undone overnight. It's going to take time. So just be patient with it. It will come. One
thing I love about zero drop is you actually have a greater push off of your toes, since the heel starts from a lower position, basically opening up untapped power of your calves.
Yeah, I get a lot of kind of complaints from people that have really tight calves, and that's because most of the time if you're wearing a normal shoe that has a heel rise, that puts your calf in a shortened position the whole time. So if you're walking around with a 10mm drop, then your calves are permanently shortened. So your body's going to get used to that position. When you're in a barefoot shoe that is zero drop, then the calves are in their natural, more lengthened position. And that's going to give the ability of the foot to be shaped like an arch and act like a spring and use the full ability of the calf. So just another reason why you should be moving in the direction of barefoot. Robert Nace Jr. says,
this video offered so much insight I can hardly put it into words. Would you suggest a top 3 shoe brand for getting into barefoot shoes for hiking? Thanks again for the great information.
I would say my top 3 shoe brands for hiking would undoubtedly be Xero. So Xero shoes. They're based in the States. They're not the sexiest shoes on the planet. They don't look great in my opinion, but functionality wise, I think they're one of the best on the market. Secondly would obviously be Vivo Barefoot. They're huge in the market. They are spending more and more time on the hiking market. They get continually better. Their new Michelin rubber is really good. I've been using the Magna Trail recently and I absolutely love it. That's been a great winter shoe. And the third one, I would say, again, I haven't used these, but Lems, I see their name come up very often, and I also see lots of great reviews and positive feedback from Lems. So I guess they would be my top 3. All right, that's enough about barefoot. Let's move on to one of my other videos. The next series of comments are from my 5 bits of hiking gear beginners never bring, something like that.
I really wish hiking vloggers would make videos about how to improve the way you hike instead of gear recommendations. It's extremely hard to learn good practice if you want retail therapy. YouTube is full of it. Hiking isn't really about shopping, is it?
This is like an ultimate facepalm for me. I think the vast majority of videos on my channel are exactly what this person is describing. It's so frustrating. Take a look around my channel. You'll see lots of helpful stuff. Yvonne Leclerc says,
I'd buy a new pair of Darn Tough or Merino socks every payday. $20 a week.
My God, how much money is this person spending on socks? Can we do the math on that real quick? 52 times 20, 400. This person is spending $440 on socks annually. I mean, I'm committed to socks. If you watch the channel, you know that I love socks. I mean, the feeling of putting a new fresh pair of socks on is like, I love it. In terms of Darn Tough, I did get a pair of Darn Tough socks. I'm going to wear them on my next hike. So I'm going to tell you, I'm going to once and for all settle the debate on what is the best sock on the planet. Is it the Silverlight or is it the Darn Tough? We will find out. John Smith.
Oh great, another video based on selling from affiliate links.
Don't believe what this guy says.
Consider the product categories, but totally ignore the individual products. He's just promoting what he can get money off Amazon.
Look, man, most of that stuff I just bought with my own money. Yes, there's affiliate links. I think if you want good content, you're gonna have to pay for it in some way, whether it is an ad during the middle of the video or affiliate links or listening to me talk about my fitness programs that I sell. Some way or another, you're gonna have to pay for this content. I'm not sure how lucrative you think this game is, but it's not as lucrative as you probably imagine. In this video, I opened with saying something about boomers. Boomer audience is currently typing in the comments section, and then there was just a wave of boomer comments.
We need to stop this boomer crap.
Don't forget scrunchie for your man bun.
Also, rubber bands for your ponytail.
Some butt hurt boomers in the room. I don't think boomer is necessarily a bad term. Like, if your butt is getting hurt by me making jokes about your age that you have nothing to do with, like you couldn't possibly change that if you tried, then I don't know what to tell you. There's probably other things that you could be angry about. This lady gets it. Linda K, hola, boomer, gal, lol, started back. She lols, she's a boomer. This is a perfect example of someone who's chill about being a boomer and doesn't get offended when I make boomer jokes. They're out there, I know they're out there. This was an interesting comment from Develin Sai. Not sure where he's from, but let's dive into the comment and find out.
So our forefathers has no filters. How do they drink waters? Some companies just advertising unnecessarily safety hazard to make money. I think if you can't drink water from creeks, you shouldn't go hiking in the first place.
This is a very potentially dangerous comment, but I think it's probably coming from someone who either lives in a very remote area where there's not so much industrial agriculture, and it may well be the case that you can drink out of the stream where you're from, my friend, but for most people where we hike, it is potentially very dangerous to drink the water. So definitely bring a water filter, or at least treat your water somehow, no matter where you're at, just in case. A whole series of comments on this video about the origins of the gear that I'm promoting. This one is a good start. Simon of Oz.
I'm pleased to hear you provide an alternative to made in China products. Place of origin is one of the most important factors in my purchasing decision making. I wish more reviewers would cover it.
Yeah, I think it's important to be aware of where the products come from, but at the same time I don't think it's really necessary to be exclusively avoiding products made just in China. Everything in the average American or Australian or European household comes from China now, and that's kind of something that we just have to accept. There is a level of manufacturing excellence in China that we just don't have around the world, and that's not my fault or your fault. That's just kind of international business and globalization, and we can't really fight it other than just being informed and making good decisions and just buying from small cottage grassroots kind of businesses to support them. On the other side of the spectrum, from Mr. Patrick.
What's wrong with being made in China? That's where I live. Some things here are of very good quality, not everything, but no place is perfect.
I think that wraps it up pretty well. Hot Dad Boomer 69 says, Boomy, I recommend bringing a full gas generator in a wheelbarrow to make sure you don't run out of battery. Yes, this guy is a prepper and I am here for it.
Man buns and facial hair aren't a replacement for lack of personality.
Oh. Emotional damage! All throughout the comments section of this video, there's a huge argument between maps and navigating on the phone, and I think this is a really good comment.
I can attest to offline trail maps. Went out on an easy hike a few years ago. Fog and rain set in, and I ended up following an animal trail for long ways before realizing I had gotten off the hiking trail. Offline maps are a lifesaver.
Yeah, I mean, this is so easy. You can see where you are, and you literally just point your phone and you go back towards the trail. Most beginners aren't going to go and do a navigation course before they take their first hike. They're much more likely to just download a simple app that shows them exactly where they are and where they need to be to get back onto trail. I think bringing those two things would save a lot of lives. There is so many instances of beginner hikers. There was like a whole family that were found dead about 500 meters from a trail. If they had offline mapping software, they could have seen that they were just not so far away. And I don't think those people, a small young family, would have had the time and the money to go out and do a navigation course when they could have simply just downloaded an app that's really easy to use. So yeah, I'm going to stand by that. I think digital mapping software is, for the most part, for beginners in very easy environments. It's superior to using a map and a compass. Cheers. It's beer o'clock. Okay, let's read some more of this bullshit. Okay, this is not a comment on my channel, but I still wanted to read it out. This is from one of the hiking meme accounts that I followed.
Motivational reels on IG can get me to go on a hike, get into woodworking, buy books on seed germination, or even use a filter to see which Disney character I look like. But it will not get me to the gym. I won't succumb to peer pressure like that.
You don't need to go to the gym. You can train for a hike using my programs. You don't need Stairmasters, you don't need treadmills, you don't need a squat rack, you don't need any of these bullshit types of equipment. You can train your body at home using my programs. Just like Victor did, who says,
I just finished the Camino Primitivo, Finisterra, together about 460 kilometers. Before this, my longest hike was 4 days with sore knees and back for weeks to come. Now, with your help, it went great without injury. Thanks for helping me with this great experience.
No worries, Victor. You're welcome. My latest offering, which is on my new app, is built around very basic short routines that you can implement in just 5 minutes. The first routine is actually public on YouTube. You can see it here. We go through 5 very basic movements, and it's something you can get done in 5 minutes. And the whole idea here is that this is designed to build consistency. So the idea with the 5-minute routine is that you do 5 minutes every single day for 7 days, and then up to eventually 21 days. And by that 21-day point, then you would have made this a habit. And then from then on, it's fairly automatic. You won't need to outsource motivation. Doing exercise and doing movement will be something very natural and very easy and something that you're very used to. So from then, going from 5 minutes to 10 minutes is much lower of a barrier. And going from 10 minutes to half an hour is going to eventually be a lot easier. So for those of you who have done my Elements program or any of my other programs and found that you couldn't stick to it, then this is my new solution that I think you'll love, starting with 5 minutes every day and getting into a good routine. And at the end of the day, that's what's going to make the difference, not the latest workout that you'll see pop up on YouTube, whether it's mine or someone else's. What you need is lifestyle and habit changing, and that comes from small changes that we make day to day. You don't have to throw a whole lifestyle out the window. It's just about integrating little things over time and gradually making those small changes. Cheers. All right, guys, that does it for this video. Thanks very much for watching all the way to the end. I hope you enjoyed this one. Put your comments in the comment section. I still read every comment that comes through on my channel. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the summit.